Hi, these comments are for GS, and I am Michael from OTC, OnlineTOEFLCourse.com, and you are a writing boot camp course student in the sense that you're paying me right now to error correct one of your independent writing practice tests. I'm going to give you my overall assessment of what I think your writing level is right now. I will even go paragraph by paragraph, sentence by sentence, to make any word choice, sentence level, punctuation, or any other grammar corrections that might be needed. So you'll have an idea of what some of your issues are with your writing and specifically how you can improve your writing. In the email that you sent me, you say, "Hi Michael, my main goal in this essay was to write correctly in grammar, and I focused on practicing writing adjective and noun clauses, appositives, and adding appropriate commas. My overall count of words was a lot. I tried to freely write. I would ask you please to review it, give me your feedback. Please, if you want to, adding emphasis to my writing explaining about those topics mentioned above and how to write them. I would much appreciate that as well." Okay, so you're working on kind of elevating your control over both your sentence style and also your word choice, right? Okay, so you say, okay, here's a question. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? In the past, it was easier to identify what type of career or job would lead to a secure, successful future. Okay, so we have the essay here, and because you said you're kind of practicing free writing, you're writing freely here, which means this is not exactly, your essay doesn't exactly fit into the TOEFL style type writing. You wrote over 1,200 words here. Wow. I mean, so let's see what we have here. Okay, so what I want to do first is I want to get a general idea. I want to see what Microsoft Word thinks about your writing. So let's do a quick grammar check. And I need to get rid of these sentences so it doesn't incorporate these into the analysis here. So I'm going to review right now. Editor here. Okay, so I'm just going to ignore all of these things. Ignore. We got 4 suggestions. I'm not going to worry about that. We will fix these later. I just want to get a general idea. Okay, let's see what it says here. Okay, so your words per sentence is actually pretty good, 25.8. And your characters per word, 4.8. This is also pretty good. So your grade level, your Flesch Kincaid grade level is 13.4. So that's college level writing. So I think just at first glance, when Microsoft looks at it, it kind of gives you an idea of what your writing is like. So your grade level is adequate. It's good. It's where it needs to be, I think, for the TOEFL. Okay, let's start from the top. You have people most likely want to achieve professional success working on something that they like to do for a living. Consequently, keeping their motivation growing up. No, you can't do that. Now, this is what's called a fragment. You might want to write this down. A fragment kind of means it's a group of words that there's no subject and verb in here. So go to Google, what are sentence fragments? You do not want that type of grammar error in your writing. Now, if you change this, you could say this, thereby keeping their motivation I'm going to put high. I think that works. I agreed that back in the day, people who were determined could be. Okay, let's put this. You don't have to say I agree. Just say, I don't even think you need this. So back in the day, People who were determined to find a job or career to pursue they could pursue it how about in a less complicated manner. Back in the day, people who were determined to find a type of job or career could pursue their quest in a less complicated manner, and those people must have experienced I'm going to say more, get rid of all that. I don't think you need this. They must have experienced more success and financial stability. Nowadays, choosing a job comes with facing uncertainty because the market is saturated in lots of areas, which means a professional would have to compete with other job searchers for the same position. Or how about fiercely? Maybe that's better. Which means a professional will have to compete fiercely with other job searchers for the same position. And I don't think you need any of this here. In addition, I'm going to just put most employers are looking for talented people Well, if we do this, you have highly skilled workers in certain niches. So sometimes you're a little bit wordy, so you need to be more concise. You see how I'm getting rid of a lot of the words in there that I just don't think are needed. So most employers are looking for highly skilled workers in certain niches in order, you don't want to say for filling, in order to fill job positions. How about to fill job positions requirements? In the 21st century, technology has drastically increased, which has opened up lots of different jobs, which create vast options to make people go online to look up a career. but letting them confuse about what career to choose in life. But the problem is your thesis doesn't really address the task. Is it easier or is it more difficult to find a job nowadays? So I think if you look at your conclusion, you say, I think it's more difficult to know what kind of job will give financial security and a successful future. So you have to say something in the beginning. Therefore, therefore I agree that it is much easier to find a secure and lucrative job in the past. It was much easier to find that kind of job in the past than it is in the present time. And then you make that argument, right, based on your different paragraphs. So you need to connect your different paragraphs, need to connect better to that purpose. Okay, so I think we're okay here. Nowadays, most likely to get a job doesn't mean I'm going to say here, getting a job doesn't likely, I'm going to say getting a job doesn't likely mean that professionals will have security, because contractors receive a lot of applicants from people that are searching for jobs. In this case, I'm going to get rid of the adjective clause there because I can. Sometimes you cannot, though. You cannot reduce the adjective clause. You have to use it. Okay, so let's keep going here. We have getting a job doesn't likely mean that professionals will have security, because contractors receive lots of applicants from people searching for, I'm going to put jobs. So giving them more autonomy yeah, you got to be careful about your coordinators here. This is called a coordinating conjunction. It means it introduces an independent clause, right? You use that when you want to create a compound sentence, but that's not what you have here. You have getting a job doesn't likely mean. That's definitely an independent clause. But then you say, so giving them more autonomy, who to choose and when they should replace them. So in this case, you can't use so. You have to use something like hence. We're using a transition word here. We've reduced that second independent clause to a phrase, hence giving them more autonomy. Worker selection and retention. I'm going to say that. I think that works. These are the words that you can use. So hence giving them more autonomy with worker selection and retention. This business scenario leads people to, I'm going to say worry. I'm using this as a present possible condition. I think this can happen, right? This is not a present impossible. So this business scenario leads people to worry about uncertainty and security when they're looking for, and you said people, right? So let's make this plural. In fact, whenever they want to lay off a person from a position, whenever managers want to lay off people from positions there are and it type sentence constructions are weak, so laws. I'm going to put laws about job termination. How about benefit companies when taking action toward employment termination? Without any reason. And I think we probably need to end this sentence right here. So the next time we do the error correction thing, don't send me a 1,200 word essay. That's not what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to help you with, of course, with your writing in general, but 1,200 words, that's like 3 different TOEFL essays, right? So 1,200 words is too much. It's going to take me well over an hour to get this done, because there's just so many issues going on here. I think we need a period here. So let's look at what we have so far. Getting a job doesn't likely mean that professionals will have security because contractors receive lots of applicants from people searching for jobs, hence giving them more autonomy with worker selection and retention, right? So to understand this, I want you to take a look, go to the writing part of my course. I think it's writing lesson number 8. It's how to make speaking and writing more coherent. And within that lesson, I do talk about different types of connecting words and their appropriate sentence structures. So you need to understand the difference between coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, and then transition words, which some people refer to them as conjunctive adverbs. So you need to make sure you know what word is what, and then how that word works in the sentence in order to connect the ideas together. Okay, let's see here. Nothing to deal with. Yeah, I don't know what you're trying to say here exactly. So when we get to the next part here, I made a change here. I put only when employers violate companies' policies can action be taken against job termination. And I think in this is a 320 word paragraph. I do not recommend this in academic writing. You're trying to do too many different things here. So let's go back to what your purpose is in the beginning, right? You said getting a job doesn't likely mean that professionals will have security because contractors receive lots of applicants from people searching for jobs, hence giving them more autonomy with worker selection and retention. So this scenario, okay, I guess your whole paragraph is talking about that. So, okay, forget what I just said. Okay, so you have, as the population grows every day, so does the job applications as well. I want to say so do. As the No, maybe that's better to do it this job applications. proportionately. As the population grows every day, the job applications increase proportionately. For example, a hospital in Oklahoma with an opening job position for pharmacists would get more than 1,000 applications daily. A pharmacist looking for a job at this hospital must face the market competition and see the opportunity. I'm going to put the opportunity diminish and see the opportunity diminish to get the job, because I'm going to just put because of and get rid of there are, because of lots of competitors. Furthermore, the reality now looks way different than in the past. Another reason is the largest hospital in Oklahoma doesn't have a pharmacist position opening very often because the licensed pharmacists are enormous. The licensed pharmacists are, I'm going to put enormous in number, or enormously number, or enormous in number in comparison with the ideal numbers of people necessary to fill a healthcare pharmacy team. In addition, companies are looking for productivity at the same time for ways to save money. Hence, a pharmacist position can be, I'm going to put filled by pharmacist intern. Consequently, we're replacing a professionally licensed let's make this an adverb here. Replacing a professionally licensed pharmacist looking to make money Yeah, you're having that problem again. How about this? Companies frequently, we need a subject and a verb in here so you don't have a fragment. You made this error before. Consequently, companies frequently replace professionally licensed pharmacists looking to make money for an intern looking to gain experience. Healthcare settings are considered how about in this? How about healthcare settings in this regard are considered as businesses looking to make profits, maybe comma, so they will always look for cost benefits. To sum up, while professionals are identifying careers, just say, while professionals seek careers, I think you could just say that. To sum up, while professionals seek careers, they also have to look up they have to how about I'm going to say pay attention to the market's saturation to decide about becoming a hospital care pharmacist in their states. You might put in their desired states, healthcare careers. This last sentence, you say healthcare careers are looking for labor, but they're also looking for profits and benefits. If you want it, you'd have to change this to that best contribute to healthcare success, but I don't think you need this sentence at all. I'm just going to get rid of it. Careers can't look for anything. People look for something, not a career. If you said healthcare enthusiasts or healthcare career professionals, you might say, look for work, but they're also looking for profits and benefits that contribute to their healthcare success. You might say it like that, but I don't even think you need that sentence. So here's our next paragraph here. In this competitive business world, how about we'll say furthermore, let's add to the previous idea, this competitive business world employers most likely want to bring the best fit for a job position. I'm going to say the best fit to a job position. And I don't even think you have to say to be fulfilled. You can say employers most likely want to bring the best fit to a job position because knowledge and expertise of its professionals I'm gonna say it contributes, not it could, it does. Knowledge and expertise of its professionals contribute I'm going to put to a company's financial success. Pharmacy hospitals I'm going to put may. I think may works better here to create the right tone. This is one of your problems I'm seeing in your writing is you're having some trouble controlling your tone, right? Sometimes you're wanting to write hypothetically, right? But you don't really need to. In other cases, you can put a modal in there to kind of create that possibility there. So pharmacy hospitals may seem like they're looking only for a professional that has a pharmacy degree. I'm going to put here, however, they are searching for applicants in a narrow way. How about this? Let's give you some sentence variety. We'll say searching for applicants in a narrow way. I'm going to put healthcare institute. So we put, however, searching for applicants in a narrow way, healthcare institutions are looking for professionals with an expertise in medications. For example, a pharmacy team at the hospital in Oklahoma has its team divided into specialities. Thus, how about cause-effect here? Pharmacists are called specialists, which one of them has see, you're using this, but I don't think you need that. I'm going to put one of whom has a domain of certain drug indications. So I'm going to change your grammar here. So we have thus, pharmacists are called specialists, one of whom has the domain of certain drug indications. So then you could say this. For example, some of them are experts in sedatives, or how about sedative medications? Others, here's a good use of the semicolon. Others specialize in antimicrobial drugs, right? So the semicolon can be effective when you want to connect two closely related independent clauses. That's kind of what we have here. Furthermore, they have a pharmacy team to respond for a code, people that are dying. Hospitals have a pharmacy team to respond to a code when people are dying. Having a pharmacist specialist like that would immensely benefit the patient. Instead of saying would benefit, I'm going to say, I'm going to put benefits the patient, benefits immensely the patient, or I'm going to put the adverb after the noun here. So we have having a pharmacist specialist like that benefits a patient immensely regarding how to accurately and timely treat patients I'm going to put which will. So having a pharmacist specialist like that benefits the patient immensely regarding how to accurately and timely treat patients, which will result in I'm going to put good outcomes. In the past, I believe things were simpler and the companies were not looking so much for specifications. No, specializations. As they are nowadays. it is getting more difficult to choose a type of job because of its requirements. We need to end the sentence here. What is a comma splice? That's what you have here. So not only I'm going to say will being a pharmacist lead to, I'm going to put career not only will being a pharmacist lead to career success, but they have to professionals have to study much more for this kind of job if they want to succeed. Secure lucrative jobs. I think you could probably say that. So usually what you got to remember here is when you have not only, and this is called an adverb of a negative adverb, right? You have to create that subject verb inversion. So that's why I said not only will. Not only will being a pharmacist lead to career success, but these healthcare professionals also will also have to study much more for this kind of job. Don't need to say that if they want to succeed in finding secure and lucrative jobs. Moreover, health information changes constantly, adding new discoveries and improvements to drug classes, which requires a pharmacist to be willing to put their own efforts, to put maybe forth their own efforts to continue seeking health area knowledge as well. I think you need to end the sentence here. Okay, let's keep going here. The other problem with the essay that you wrote here, you need to connect the paragraphs a little bit better. They need to connect better. I don't see that kind of connection. This era of advanced technology and the internet combined with electronics serve very well for businesses that are going through a crisis due to the COVID pandemic. But how does that relate to the idea that it's easier to get jobs in the past? Because if that's the point and the purpose of the essay, it seems here you might say, well, in addition, jobs nowadays are much more difficult. Or how about this? Nowadays, job security is much more difficult because of the crisis of the pandemic. So I think you could probably connect this topic sentence a little bit better back to the actual question. because of the pandemic. So to me, that's more of a topic sentence here. Employees are also having a more difficult time finding secure jobs because of the pandemic. And then you give me all this information here. This era of advanced technology on the internet combined with electronics serve very well for businesses. And I think you can get rid of this and just say business is going through a crisis due to the COVID pandemic. It is because people were told by the health department to practice social distancing. If you want to combine these two, you could probably say right there. We have, for example, Apple owner. An Apple owner that had great sales success in the past due to the pandemic couldn't guarantee the same company's profits. Couldn't guarantee the same. It kind of implies it's that company's, right? The same profits right now because they had to switch their business from in person to online purchases only. In addition, they had to ensure a safe online shopping. I don't think you have to say a shopping because that's a safe online shopping when people are making payment transactions. I'm going to put to secure them from identity theft. At this time, the internet is seen by people as a way to focus on creating a career online. But how does all this relate to how jobs now are not as stable as they used to be in the past? So you have all these ideas, but I just honestly don't see all the connection. So the internet is seen by people as a way to focus on creating, how about we could maybe say careers online. And you said is sane, so there's no need to say. I'm going to say can, and can lead to success much more than in-person relations. So is sane here, right? And then I'm changing this to can lead. So that's more compatible, right? Was sane and could lead. Is sane and can lead. Making people that are looking for a career to rethink ways to make a profit or keep their business going at this unprecedented time. And the problem here is you don't have, believe it or not, this is a fragment. Changing interactions to online, encourage people for a career to rethink ways, changing business interactions to online, encourage people looking for a career to rethink ways to make profits and to keep their businesses going at this unprecedented time because of the financial crisis that the pandemic brought. In the past, people didn't have to think. They didn't have to think about whether a career had to be online or in person. So I think here you're using this as a yes-no. This is a noun clause connector. So in the past, people didn't have to think about whether a career had to be online or in person. Both of them seem to guarantee success. But now it has been way more difficult than ever for people to feel that a type of career would lead to achievements of their goals of making profits. I don't know. This gets to your confusion idea. I think here we have, for example, Apple owner. An Apple owner that had great sales success in the past due to the pandemic couldn't guarantee the same company's profits, couldn't guarantee the same. It kind of implies it's that company's, right? The same profits right now because they had to switch their business from in person to online purchases only. In addition, they had to ensure a safe online shopping. I don't think you have to say a shopping because that's a safe online shopping when people are making payment transactions. I'm going to put to secure them from identity theft. At this time, the internet is seen by people as a way to focus on creating a career online. But how does all this relate to how jobs now are not as stable as they used to be in the past? So you have all these ideas, but I just honestly don't see all the connection. So the internet is seen by people as a way to focus on creating, how about we could maybe say careers online. And you said is sane, so there's no need to say. I'm going to say can, and can lead to success much more than in-person relations. So is sane here, right? And then I'm changing this to can lead. So that's more compatible, right? Was sane and could lead. Is sane and can lead. Making people that are looking for a career to rethink ways to make a profit or keep their business going at this unprecedented time. And the problem here is you don't have, believe it or not, this is a fragment. Changing interactions to online, encourage people for a career to rethink ways, changing business interactions to online, encourage people looking for a career to rethink ways to make profits, and to keep their businesses going at this unprecedented time because of the financial crisis that the pandemic brought. In the past, people didn't have to think about whether a career had to be online or in person. So I think here you're using this as a yes-no. This is a noun clause connector. So in the past, people didn't have to think about whether a career had to be online or in person. Both of them seem to guarantee success. But now it has been way more difficult than ever for people to feel that a type of career would lead to achievements of their goals of making profits. I don't know. This gets to your confusion idea, I think here. To conclude this error correction video, I'm going to recommend some specific lessons in my online course, a 7-step system, that can help you improve your writing. So let's go to the grammar part of my course first. So let's see what we have. So you did a lot of adjective clauses. The only thing I want to caution you on is don't overuse adjective clauses. I like that you're using them, but you don't want to overuse a certain grammatical structure. Let me look at these. I think word choice, lesson 13, lesson 14, parallel structure. You can work on those. I think with the prepositions, lesson 21, you're having some problems with that. Lesson 24, gerunds and infinitives. Lesson 25, definitely comma splices, run-on sentences, and fragments. You had problems with both fragments and comma splices. Lesson 26, sentence variety, and you can also do lesson 26.2. And I think lesson 27, being more concise. You had a lot of unnecessary words in there that you could have omitted. I omitted them as I error corrected it, so you can study that lesson. Punctuation was actually pretty good, but I want you to look at lesson 29 and look at the lesson with the semicolon and the colon. I think those would be two good lessons for you. Lesson 32, pronoun agreement. I think that's a good lesson for you to take a look at. Okay, let's go to the writing part of my course, see if there's anything in there you should take a look at. Okay, the main thing here is lesson 1 with, as you go through independent writing strategies, I want you to look at the topic and the thesis statements in those, the topic sentences and example thesis statements in those model essays, and look at those. I think that's good for you right now. I think lesson 5.6, writing the perfect paragraph. What I want you to get out of this is one of your paragraphs was 356 words. Now you can do that But in many cases, I don't recommend that long of a paragraph. So as you go through this particular lesson, writing the perfect paragraph, notice how I state a topic in the beginning, right? And then I have just one detail, one example. And once I'm done with that, that paragraph is over. You don't have to keep adding more and more information in a paragraph to make it longer and longer and longer, which typically is not what the reader wants. So you can check out that one. I think lesson number 8, how to make your writing more coherent. So as you go through that lesson, the main thing I want you to think about is we have 3 types of connecting words. We have coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, and transition words, also known as conjunctive adverbs. So I want to make sure you had a lot of trouble with these different kinds of connecting words, not knowing the kind of sentence structure that's represented by those connecting words. So that's what you want to get out of that lesson. And I think that's pretty much it. So thank you for doing the writing practice test. I hope that my comments and my error correction are giving you some ideas on what you can do to improve your writing.